Hi, this is Bernard Harris, and welcome to Btalk. Today we have with us former, or let's say ex-professional player, Kotka City Council member, and the new head coach for KTP men's team, Michael Pounds. Hi, Mike.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing, man. Thanks for stopping by and talking to me.
Oh,
You,
no problem. No problem. Fan of the
you,
show.
you just you just had me laughing right away. Good to see you, man. Let's get a little bit into your and before we go further, I'll say again, congratulations on getting the head coaching job for KTP.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Good job, good job. So tell me a little bit. You grew up in Kotka, and you grew up in a legendary sports family, which was started by your dad, Larry, which then was followed by your sister Dion, you, and your younger sister Anissa. How was that? How was that growing up in Kotka?
It was fun. It was basically like a quote unquote regular family. Both parents home, all kids going to being close to school in a fun, safe neighborhood, and everybody plays sports. Everybody everybody plays sports. Like it still comes as a shock to me when I see kids and we ask their hobbies and they say, well, I just go, after school I go home. Like it's a shock that they don't play sports because it's so involved in our everyday life. It's the same with Dion's kids. It's the same with my kids. So it's a lot of sports, a lot of activity, and if we're not doing the sport ourselves, we're watching it. So it was a sports family, as you said.
Was there any pressure for you to follow in your dad's footsteps since he is so famous in Kotka, and not only in Kotka throughout Finnish basketball? Was there any pressure?
Uh, I probably put it on myself more than more than he was pushing me. Like he always pushed me. Like you don't have. He said you don't have to play basketball, but you got to do something.
Right.
So until I was 15, till I was 16, I played soccer in the summer times, and then wintertime I played basketball. So I was always doing something. And then when I finished soccer at 16, then he asked me, all right, do you want to try this basketball stuff seriously or you want to just play around? I said, well, then now we can take it seriously. Then he started like pushing me, waking me up in the morning, taking me to the weight room, like always being there. But until 15, 16, he just let me do me basically.
Okay. Okay. And your older sister Dion, she was a hooper too. So, do you guys ever playing in one on one?
No, just shootouts, and I always lost. I, I I consider myself a decent shooter, but Anissa and Dion. They are top five great best women shooters who ever been in Finland. So I always lost the shootout.
Okay, okay. Did so when you started to play, you obviously grew up in the KTP junior system. Did your dad ever coach you?
He coached me for 1 year when I was in juniors, my last junior year. But at that time, I made the men's team, so it was only the games. I only practiced with the men's, and then I went and played the junior games. So really, the coaching was in the summertime. So he took me and Milos, a good friend of mine. He would woke us up every morning. We left the house 5 to 9, picked up Milos at 9, and went to the weight room. Went to run some hills. Went to the track, and that was his coaching. But being like the coach of the team, I only got it a full experience for it maybe 3 months when he came in and filled when Ray Ailus was let go in
Okay.
2000. I think it was 2008, to end of the 2008 season, and he took over for a couple months, and that was maybe the only time when it was like day to day when he was coaching the team when I was on it.
Okay. Okay. How old were you when you joined your first men's team?
I was 17.
Okay. Uh, do you think you were ready at that time?
Uh, I kind of surprised myself because they usually they call up like the best juniors to go on the summer squad, and I was the first one to not be called. So then
Okay.
I called the assistant coach like, hey, do you mind if I come and try it out anyway? And he literally was like, all right, yeah, you can come and try out. It's fine. We'll take one more. And then I
Right.
end up making the team, and that was the second summer when I didn't get a summer job. My job was 9 to 11:30 workout, and then we had the team practice from 3 to 5:30, and that was my summer job. And thanks to my parents, they allowed me to do that because there's a lot of parents who are like, no, that's not a job. You go
Yeah.
and get a job, and there you go, even in practice if you want to. But my mom and dad, they let me work out for the whole summers. But then I end up making a team, and then I actually had I had a decent rookie year. I think I came in second in rookie of the year. So
Okay.
I surprised myself for sure that first year.
Who was your favorite player growing up?
Uh, Real kid Michael Jordan, but now then it switched to Kobe.
Okay. Okay. You spent a lot of time obviously under the KTP system. Then you played started with the men's team, and then you moved to Helsinki with the Helsinki Seagulls. How was that move to Helsinki after being in Kotka all your life?
It was a shock. It was a shock first of all because in Helsinki, as you know, there's a lot of good players, and
Yeah.
there was guys I haven't heard of, but was like man, this guy can play, and if I'm gonna, navigate through this system to get into the rotation and get in, like first, like I didn't even suit up until January. I didn't make the
Okay.
12 to suit up for the game, so it was really it was really tough. I really shocked because there was a lot of good players, and everybody was 21, 20, 19, 22. So it was really didn't matter if he was on the junior national team. There was kids who just didn't want to go to the national team, just wanted to hang out for the summer, but was really good players.
Right.
So that first year was really a steep learning curve.
And you played 3 seasons with them.
Yeah.
How was the last season compared? Well, you just talked about the first, but how was the last? How was the last season?
Then pretty much like the last two seasons were pretty similar. I got the pretty much like the backup point guard role. We always had an import point guard. So then that
Okay.
was the first time I started playing point guard. Before that, I was a two. But then we had the Spanish assistant coach, Michael Lopez,
Yes.
and they was thinking if they bring another import to be the backup, and Lopez said to Tommy Kaminen, no, we got Mike right here. He'll run it. And then that was the first time I started playing point guard really. And then I was just pretty much what I learned from being from the 16, 17, 18 is that I just got to outwork the guys. I just got to
Right.
outwork the guys because I know these guys in the summertime they'll take it easier, and I can't afford to take it easy. My skill level isn't that high that I can take it easy and just come back in August. So
Right.
my time was always the summertime.
Okay. How did you? How did you? And did you enjoy playing the point?
I did. It opened up uh, a new world because I like to score. I like to do stuff with the ball. But then
Right.
when you get to the men's team, as a kid, 17, 18, 19, you don't touch the ball every time down the court. So
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
moving to point guard, I was like, yeah, for sure I'll play point guard because I can touch the ball each time down the court. So it was an adjustment. And first year, I don't know if you remember this guy, Obi Trotter,
I do.
and
I do.
yeah, and we were locked heads plenty of times, but he took it as a teaching moment because he would still teach me. Like he would
Okay.
bust my ass in practice, and then it was still after practice day. All right, tomorrow let's come here at 9:30, and I'll show you some, and we'll get some extra shots up. So like I gotta thank him and Tommy Kamin and then Michael Lopez for because they took the time to teach me also, not just say in November, okay, it's not going to be working out, and then get another guy in. They really stuck with me and pay dividends.
And also from the point guard position, it involves a lot of leadership. Do you think that experience of being a point guard and learning the point guard position has helped you later in life?
Oh, for sure, because it's not about it's as a point guard, as a wing guy. You think when I score 18, I've played a good game. When I score 20, I've played a good game. But as a
Right.
point guard, you think if we get an 8-0 run, I'm playing well. If we get a 6-0 run, if I win my sub in my 5 minutes, I've done my job. So then you realize, especially in basketball and in life in general, you need to get people around you to push yourself. Like if you just try to do it yourself, it's going to be a short ride, a short career. But I think if I wouldn't have done that, my career would have ended probably 5, 6 years earlier.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You played for a long time. Would you have like a 15-year career,
I think
something like that?
15, yeah.
15-year career. So you saw a lot of changes in the game of basketball and the growth of basketball in Finland. Do you think that the popularity of the men's national team, the Susi Yangi, has carried over into the local basketball, let's say, or the national basketball?
Uh, I think so, but not probably not in the way people would think. Like people think national team's doing well now. People want to go see the local men's team or women's team, but I think it's actually helped us get more juniors involved and more kids know Lauri Markkanen, and more kids know Sasu Salin. So when you go to see junior games, I think junior level has risen because of it. I don't know. You got to probably ask somebody else how it has affected the men's and women's Korisliga, but I think it has helped very much the junior side of Finnish basketball.
Okay. What's your throughout this 15-year playing career, what is one of your favorite memories?
Favorite memories. I don't know. I think I had maybe one singular one was when I made the game winner from full court against
Okay.
Porvo. I think it was 2010.
Right.
That was fun, but it's like you remember, it's the locker room after practice, it's the bus ride. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's that's the most fun. I had a couple, maybe 3 seasons that stand out where it was just so much fun going to practice and games every time. So maybe my year in Vilpas, the one year in Topo, the middle season, and then the finals team, and the year after here in KTP.
Okay. Okay. What's what is some of the best advice your dad has given you about basketball?
The value of hard work.
Right.
Like I said before, I was never the one of the most talented kids. I knew the game, but I inherited my dad's athletic ability, so I was never fast. I was never quick. I couldn't jump that high, but I knew I could outwork. I knew I could outwork everybody. Like I
Right.
really knew, and I took pride in outworking everybody. Like the all the janitors from when I played in Salo, they remember me. The janitors from Kisahalli remember me, especially of course the janitors in Kotka remember me, and they remember me by me being there at 8:30 in the morning, me coming back at 2. That's the way they more than likely remember me, not just being the guy who always said hello. So he
Okay.
just you can outwork yourself into a great career.
True. 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 Um, you recently just got promoted as the men's head coach. How was that taking over so late in the season? Was it difficult?
Very difficult because it was such a because it just came out like maybe Thursday or Wednesday that week that Rope was not going to continue for next season. So we
Right,
just talked about, okay, we get to go, you know, just muscle up every amount of energy we have and just try to make a playoff push and end the season on a high. And then we had a really bad game in Loima that Saturday, and then he just said, all right, I'm out. And
okay,
I didn't I still thought he was just saying it out of emotion.
yeah,
And then we got home from Loima, and it was like, okay, it's it's serious. And then the
yeah,
GM sent me a message that call me when you guys get back to Kotka, and he asked like would I be interested for the rest of the season. I was like, yeah, for sure. I just need somebody to help me out
right,
for an assistant. And he was like, okay, well, let's see what happens. And then he called me the next day that they got Harry Laine. He'll come and assist
okay,
you for the rest of the season, and if you want it for the rest of the season, you got it. So then I said, fine, fine. Well, let's go then. So it's
right, yeah.
not the circumstances that maybe a coach wants to get a head coaching job, but you can't pick and choose.
No, you gotta roll with it. You gotta roll with it. What's the goals for the team right now?
We still it's 7 games left. I think we're two games out of the playoff spot. With still playing the teams in front of us, so we're still trying to make a playoff push for sure. But just first 5 games of these last 7 is really just go game by game, try to rack up some wins, and then the last 2 games we'll see where we at. If we're still looking for a playoff spot, then we'll push on. If not, then we're not. But really try to just break this bad spell. We had a decent week of practice, so let's see if it carries over to this last stretch.
Okay. Compare being a head coach to being a point guard leading the team.
It's actually pretty similar. It's actually pretty similar. Um,
Yep.
what I do is I give a lot of responsibility to the point guard just because of that reason, because it's the leadership position. So it's about looking at all 5 guys instead of the one guy. It's not looking at our wing guy, see if he can make the shot. It's looking at what's the screen at the correct angle. How did he use the screen? Was he ready to shoot coming off the screen? Was the pass correct? Was it too high? Was it too low? So it's about, again, looking at every aspect of the situation, not just the end result, because the end result might fool you. You still might make the shot, and then the worst thing you can do is think, okay, that was good offense because you made the shot. The same
Right.
way defensively, if you get a stop, that doesn't mean the defense was good. You still have to look at what happened, what transpired, how was the closeouts, how was the box out, how was the help side, and then you determine was it good or was it bad. So it's about, again, looking at everything, same way as a point guard should.
Well, I'm looking at you right now, and you have no gray hair. You
Not
still have
yet.
a full head of hair. So since you joined the head coaching ranks, I'll take a look at you in 3 years, and we we'll see we'll see how that is. But I'm sure you will enjoy it because you've been a leader, you're a natural leader, so I'm sure you will enjoy it. That's
No,
that's
I appreciate
that's
it.
that's
It's
basically
been
what
fun. It's been fun.
I didn't. What'd you say? I didn't catch that.
No, I'm saying that it's been fun. It's the competition that really drives you forward.
Let's flip the script a little bit. You recently were elected to the Kotka City Council. What made you get into politics?
Um, they asked me. it was,
Oh,
it was.
okay.
I never thought about it before. And then they asked me, and then I thought, well, okay, let's see. It was at the same time I was going to be done with basketball playing. So
Okay.
I was like, maybe this could be a new new thing. Then I called Sean. I called Sean because I just read previously, maybe a month before, that he was going for Helsinki, the same
Right.
thing. And then I talked to Vesa Mac, who was doing it in Orimattila.
Okay.
And then I talked to Sean a couple times before I said yes. And Sean was like this is really the thing. If you want to change something in your city, this is the thing. It's not, eduskunta or, the Finnish parliament. It's really your town city council. You can make a change in your city. And I was like, I'm gonna try it out for sure. I didn't have a pretty much. I didn't have a budget. I think my parents bought me one paid ad. All the rest
Okay.
was social media. And yeah, then I got in. It was still the same party as Sean, the Green Party.
Before you decided to say yes to all of this, what changes did you think were necessary in the city?
Yeah, so just have more kids going to sports, more kids being active, having after school stuff for kids, having an easier route to get to the teams, get to the practices, and keep it affordable. Kotka is not a rich city. There's not a lot of rich families here. There's a lot of families that are, I don't want to say struggling, but going
Yeah.
going check to check. So
Yeah.
making sure that it's always affordable, it's always possible for your child to have opportunities to have a hobby, to be in sports. That was the biggest reason for me.
Yeah, it's being a coach, and I've coached a lot of young kids as well as men, but you do hear a lot of parents complaining about the cost of their kids playing sports, various sports. And it's a little different, I guess, in Sweden, where the government funds sports more. Am I correct?
I think so. I think so, and we still think being like we're going on the wrong way of thinking that playing sports is a luxury. Like we need to flip it around that it should be a necessity. Like like you have to pretty much, and it can be whatever you want. Like if you don't have to play soccer, you don't have to play basketball, you don't have to play ice hockey. You can have if we can have in our local gyms an hour and a half where it's only 15 and under. That
Right.
there's not the big strong guys, bullying you out, and then you feel uncomfortable going. We can have it so that we go to the school and we can start it off with 7:30 from to 8:15. Have it so that we started off with some exercise, that you don't go in straight into the class and you sit down and you be sat down until 12. So like get it a part of your everyday life, not just the 2 days a week maybe for a 9 and 10 year old.
I mean, most people should realize how important sports is to young kids, both mentally and physically. Why do you think sports has somewhat gone down, sports activities have somewhat gone down in schools?
Uh, Easy answer, because of these.
Okay. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
kids, like, there's stuff to do which doesn't involve going outside. Like, okay, we're gonna sound old, but when we was kids, the stuff to do was
Shit,
go
Mike, I
outside.
am old.
But go even
Anyway, yeah.
even 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 20 years ago, the thing to
Yeah,
do was go outside and do something. And
exactly.
now it's okay, let's check out this new video. Let's check out this new game. Like I remember it was maybe 7, 8 years ago, Pokemon Go was the thing.
Yeah.
And I was happy it was going to be a thing because that meant kids was going outside and trying to look for them. They was even doing some activity. But it took a game of the TV show to get
Yeah.
kids to go back outside. So because they got easier stuff to do. And then I think one reason is us parents, we think we're too busy. Like we have so much stuff to do, and we have to take we have well, I have to take care of myself. I have to go to the gym. Like, no, you can go to the gym for the hour that your child is at practice. More than likely, a gym is at the place where the child's practice is. At least in Kotka,
Yeah.
every place my son has practice, there's a gym right next to it. At most 5 minutes next to it.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think us parents, we also think like we're too busy after work, or we're too tired to take him. No, no, you're not. You're just making an excuse for not to go. So we have to, as parents, take a lot of responsibility as well.
How long have you been on the city council now? A year and a half?
This is my third year.
Oh, okay, okay. Man, time flies. Have
You ain't
you
never left.
have you seen any changes?
There's this harrastamisen Suomen malli, which
Okay,
came to Kotka in this maybe 18 months ago. So
okay,
they're putting in schools that there's in almost every school there's some sort of after school hobby. And what I liked about that model is it prioritizes uh, the kids who are not doing the sport. So let's say there's a basketball one at my son's school, but if my son wants to go, that means that there's the places hasn't been filled, and it prioritizes the person who's not played basketball. But then if my
okay,
son wants to go to the floorball one, let's say, then he's prioritized over the person who already plays floorball. So that is a really that's a really good thing. It's really taken off here in Kotka.
okay, okay. You know, I've with my Get in the Game project, man, I've spent a lot of time trying to, make it easy for the parents to have their kids involved in sports because any event that we have, we never charge, for the kids to be
Exactly.
involved. So I've tried to do my part in giving back in that, and I enjoy that. I enjoy seeing the kids be able to do something that doesn't cost the parents any money.
Exactly. And that's the win. If you see a kid who was in the Get in the Game program, and then 4 or 5 months later you go to a gym and they're in the practice in basketball practice, that's the win from it.
Exactly, exactly. So hopefully these ideas and programs that you have in mind will carry over. Do you ever think you'll run for parliament?
I did it once. I did it last time.
Did you?
Uh, yeah, but
Okay.
it's it's too much politics, I should say. It 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 requires a lot of time, a lot of money, and I don't want to be a politician full time. So
Okay.
more than likely, the city council is more than enough. Because at the end of the day, I still consider myself a basketball guy, basketball coach now. So
Right, right.
I don't want to sacrifice that to try out for the parliament.
Okay. What advice would you give to young kids that want to have some success in basketball or in sports in general?
Uh, outwork, outwork your opponent, outwork your teammate. Like don't ever think you've done enough. Don't ever think, okay, 200 shots, that's fine. There's a guy somewhere around the world, probably in the same city, that's doing 500. Like don't ever think you've made it. If you get bumped up to the under 19 top team, if you're on the second team and then you get bumped to the first team, don't think, okay, I'm here. When you get bumped up to the men's team, don't think, okay, now I've arrived. My dad always told me, you can stop trying to bump up and stop trying to work out when you get to the NBA. And I didn't make it. In Finland, we've had two people who've made it. Obviously, we've
Exactly.
had a lot of other very highly successful basketball players, but like don't the reason they are highly successful is that when Sasu Saleh got to Honka men's team at 17. He didn't think it was the final piece when Petteri Koponen won the Finnish championship as a starting point guard at 19. He didn't think he made it. Like that just pushed them to do more work. So it's just about outworking your opponent, outworking yourself. Don't let yourself get too comfortable ever.
As you know, some parents who have kids in sports, they tend to over push them sometimes and get
Yeah.
too involved in the kids sport, whatever it might be. What advice would you give to parents that do have kids playing sports?
Just let him play. Just let him play and have fun.
Right.
Like I have to catch myself sometimes because watching my son play when he's now 8 and
Okay.
playing basketball, playing soccer, and I then sometimes have to just catch myself and okay, just step back and let him play. Like let him try, let him fail, and then that's the way he'll learn. Like now we started filming our games to Koristeve, and
Okay.
every time after the games he wants to come home and he wants to watch them. And instead of me pointing out, oh, you could have done this, we just watch them and we just watch them. Oh, you see that was a cool move. That was
Yeah.
nice. That was a good pass. We just let him grow. And when they get to the 14, 15, then they'll usually come and ask, okay, I want to go to the next level. Can you help me? That happened with myself, that happened with my sisters, that's happened with people I've seen, next to, growing up with me. That they'll come and ask what I need to do. And then you can really push them. But if you start pushing them at 10, 11, more than likely they'll burn out at 14, 15. And then you have a has-been who's thinking, okay, yeah, I could have if I would have, you got
Yeah.
thousands of people in the stands who could have would have when they was 14, 15, but never did it.
Exactly. Exactly. And then a lot of times parents will wonder, what went wrong.
Exactly.
But yeah, yeah. And it seems like your son is carrying on in the Pounds tradition.
Oh, he is. He's he's having I can the best thing for me is I see him he's having fun when he's playing basketball, when he's playing soccer, and he hasn't yet said that I don't want to go to practice. He's
Okay.
always said, "Hey, he's always asking who's taking me." So,
Nice.
I've never that's the thing we talk with my wife Annie all the time. Let's like if we can't take it, we'll find a ride for him. Like it's not gonna him going to practice is not gonna be upon if we can't find a ride for him or he can't go. Like we'll do everything always in our power to get him to the practice, get him from practice. If he wants to go shoot on the weekends, we'll find time to do it. So we're just letting him grow as he's growing, and then when he gets to an age, then we'll have to talk. Okay, you want to do this serious, or you just want to still just play around? Because then that time will come, but there's a system for it. Well, it'll come in itself with the Susi All Star in 14, 15, and junior national
Yeah.
teams. Then they'll start making the decision for themselves.
Well, it seems like you guys have a good game plan. So I think your son will have what's your son's name, by the way?
Nicholas.
Nicholas. I think Nicholas will have a good future. And at this time, Mike, I'm going to say thank you, man, for coming and having this chat with me. It was really good, and good luck in the future with your team. I'll be watching on TV and giving you a thumbs up.
All right, I
Thank you, man.
appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. See you.